Hey friends and neighbors, we got the radiator and fan shroud out of there, and it was the nightmare that I expected, the radiator part, because International for some reason decided it would be a good idea to run the steering shaft through the radiator. And one issue we had, there's a roll pin goes in there. I knocked it out, knocked the roll pin out, took the end cap off there, took the castle nut and the Jurassic cotter key they had in there. So damn big you had to bend it horseshoe shape to get it out, so that was convenient. And I went to turn the shaft to unscrew the worm gear to get the steering shaft to slide out, and I could turn it probably about a half a turn by hand, and it wasn't easy. So I went in the shed to get a pair of vice grips, and first thing I ran across was a pipe wrench, so I grabbed that, put the pipe wrench on there. You can see a couple scratches there, and I didn't even turn it hard. I could have done it with vice grips, and turned it not even a quarter of a turn, and I heard something pop. Well, I thought it was just rust or some shit inside this coupling broke loose. And so I wiggled it. Well, hell, everything still kind of turned there. I'm like, what in the hell? I thought, well, what the hell was the popping noise? Well, I'll show you what popped. And it snapped like a dry damn twig. Isn't that just handier than hell? And I mean it just like a dry twig. I could have done that with a pair of vice grips. So when we get this fan shit all straightened out, got to get it up by the shed, drag the welder out, get out the welding rod, and fix that. Hang on here, we got a tanker coming from the 185th refueling wing, and believe me, he's a lot closer than what it shows up on the video. So anyway, that wasn't all the joy. I still don't know the reason that fan blade broke off. There's nothing that it was hitting. So, whatever. Time and age, I guess. But I'm going to power wash the front of this mess off. I'm going to replace that hose while I got everything apart. And I have to replace that lower radiator hose because it got a slice cut in it. This upper one, it's still good. It's stiff. So that one's okay, but I'm going to replace the other two. Power wash it off. And I'd really like to get that thing freed up so a guy could get a hand crank in there if he needed to. Because sometimes this tractor sits long enough that the battery goes down. But anyway, back up here to this coupler. I told you I knocked that roll pin out. Well, I did. Well, then after it broke everything and shit, I got to looking. What they did is they put that big roll pin in there, and then they put that small roll pin in the center of it. So there was 2 roll pins in the damn thing. That's what was holding that on. That's why when I turned it, it broke that cast piece. And just like I thought would happen, here's the bottom of the radiator. 3/8 inch stud. You know, been in there for 70 years. I hosed them down good with penetrating oil and crap. Well, this one came right out, even though the castle nut's supposed to turn off. It didn't. It unscrewed from the radiator. Look what we got on this side. That damn thing was so rotten. It was wore down to about a 1/4 inch diameter. Private jet. It was wore down to about a 1/4 inch diameter, or rusted down from a 3/8. Actually, it's bigger than 3/8, down to a 1/4 inch. So we'll know what a joy that's going to be, trying to get that damn thing out. I'll probably take a I don't want to put too much heat to it because it looks like aluminum down inside there. What I'll probably end up doing is putting a nut over it, taking the wire welder and welding the nut on that, and then let it cool, and hopefully it'll be enough to break that free. But nothing. I don't know how well you can see. Nothing got into the radiator. There's where the top hose, the radiator's flipped down, upside down. That's where the top hose connects. And the hole next to it is where the steering column goes through. Just handier than hell. So anyway, that's where we are with the M. I've called around different places, and shit, we got another plane coming. Hold on. That's the 185th tanker wing over in Sioux City, Iowa. The guard unit over there. That's what refuels jets and what have you. Anyway, I called around, and I'm going up to Rock Valley Tractor Parts tomorrow, up in Rock Valley, Iowa. They got a fan up there, and it was a hell of a lot cheaper than what everybody else was telling me. Even though it's a little bit longer drive, I can drive up there, get the part, and drive back and still be money ahead. But see, That's, I don't know what the hell. That fan blade wasn't hitting anything. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So anyway, that's where we're at. This thing's going to get power washed before the hood and the grill goes back on. And I may even do it before I have to get in there and replace that damn hose. And so that's where we are, friends and neighbors. Everybody have a great day. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Ed Goslin, we're thinking about you, buddy. Hope you and all your neighbors stay safe up there. Hey, friends and neighbors. I'm getting way behind on doing any videoing. So I'll show you where we're at here with the M. What a nightmare. I don't know, you know, how something so simple could just turn into an ass ache, but it did. We got the new fan. I don't know, maybe I should go around the other side. The sun might be screwing you. We got the new fan, and there it is. Yeah, hang on, we got a plane coming over. Anyway, we got the new fan in. Went up to Rock Valley Tractor Parts up at Rock Valley, Iowa, and got that. And I'm sure they do ship. If you need tractor parts, old tractor parts, give them a call. Rock Valley Tractor Parts in Rock Valley, Iowa. Very reasonably priced. There were some that were closer in the area, but for what they charged me for this one, in for what this one cost me, I was still money ahead driving up to Rock Valley and back than getting one closer by. I was way money ahead. So anyway, that was the easy part. Twisted a bolt off on the bottom of the radiator. I don't know if I mentioned that in the first part of this video. And that was a horrish nightmare to get drilled out, and ended up dremeling. Took the Dremel tool and got the rest of it out, and took a tap and cleaned the threads out. But it sliced that, when that fan broke, it sliced that lower radiator hose. I had one piece of radiator hose that was about 1/4 of an inch too small, but with the help of a 1600 watt heat gun from Harbor Freight, Princess Auto to you Canadians, we warmed her up and got her stretched on there. So, and then I'll go back to the other side. I still don't know what caused that fan to that fan blade to break. It didn't hit anything. They're really not that strong. I mean, it does flex. Even this new to me one, it flexes. But maybe it was just fatigue. I don't know. And we were kind of coming close to this power steering pulley. So Matthew and I took it off and I slotted out the hole some, and we moved it, slid it back a little bit. And I don't know if you can see the lineup. And as I mentioned before, when I was trying to take this worm gear from the steering out, they had had a roll pin inside of a roll pin up there in the coupler here. So I didn't know there was a roll pin inside of a roll pin, so when I was trying to unscrew that, it broke that. So I got to weld that goddamn thing up. And like I said, the steering column goes through the radiator. Wasn't that a good idea? When I was unscrewing that back out of there to put the radiator in, because I put it back in while I was working on the radiator and everything else. So anyway, yesterday when I went to put the radiator back in, I went to screw this back out. Had everything, was just finger tight. Went to screw it out, and I'll show you the next joy. There it all is. The goddamn bearing fell all to pieces. Now, you would think if it was going to fall to pieces, it would have done that when I was originally struggling to get the damn thing out. But no, when I'm turning it by hand, screwing it out, bearings start falling. So I had to get on the phone this morning, call up the Steiner Tractor Parts and get a new one. The new one was, I don't know, $9 and change, and with the 2-week shipping, it came out to $24 and change for that little bearing, you know. But I'll feel better when I get the candy in the box along with the bearing, right? So anyway, I think for now I'm going to try to piece that bearing back together, get it stuck in there. Oh, and you can still see all the oil and grease and shit on here. And why do you ask is that? Well, the people we were renting our ground from, you know, where we had our horses and what have you, I loaned that old guy my power washer for 2 years, and I got it back, and it don't work. The motor starts, don't pump a bit of damn water. I took it apart. I did yesterday, and a couple days ago I took it all apart. The seals are all good in it. Nothing's plugged up. No water comes through it. I mean, it don't even go through it. So, I don't know what the hell the issue is with that, but, you know, there we are, still covered in oil and grease and antifreeze. So anyway, I'm going to, well, I put that in a good spot, didn't I? You have to get the vice grips, loosen that up, and turn the damn thing. You can tell I put the hose on before I did the damn steering shaft. So anyway, I'm going to try to piece that bearing back together, and we'll get back to you. If we don't, happy trails, and we'll see how she runs when we get her back together.
Tail right straight up in the air.
Gotta stretch.